Tune into the 2019 Truly Daebak Awards from January 21st to the 25th and the Fans' Choice Awards live on January 26th. Watch as we crown the best in K-pop from 2018, and be sure to cast your vote by using the link in the description below.
Everything happened in a flash. It bloomed in my heart. I call it love. What's up, everyone? It's Nate from Truly Daebak with DaebakCast, episode 104.
Good job, Cooper. Nailed it.
Good job, Cooper. And this is a K-pop podcast where 4 of us now, 3 at a time sometimes, we'll have 4 sometimes too, come together and talk about K-pop and whatever's current in the industry, as Jacob says.
What does that even mean?
K-pop entertainment. I don't know. It's just what he says. So, and this week is gonna be fun because it's Apink and WJSN, and I have light sticks. Woo. This week we're doing 2 reviews, a topic about K-pop, and then we're gonna do Cooper topic, also about K-pop. As always, I am joined by Andrew, who has 3 things.
I'm still sore from dance class. Holy shit! Like, not even just, like, I wasn't gonna start off like that, but I'm just like moving my arm. Like, moving my arms is still sore. I'm like, holy hell. Okay, so part of my New Year's resolution was to take K-pop dance classes, because I'm going to try and take a class at 1 Million Dance Studio in Korea. So having never taken dance classes before, I want to learn so that I don't make a complete fool of myself when I'm over in Korea. So our friend DJ, who helps or teach classes at I Love Dance NYC, I took his K-pop diet dance class, and oh man, like, even the warm up hurt like hell, because it's basically like Zumba and like exercising and shit. So
also you got schooled by old Filipino women.
Yes. I had no idea. Like, I finally found, like, I knew, like, I probably wasn't going to be good just because I have, like, no experience in dance whatsoever, but I finally found out, wow, I'm really bad. Like, really bad. Like, it was very hard to keep up at times, but, like, at least I know I suck now, so then hopefully, like, later on I'll be able to get better. But, I mean, it was still a fun experience. Like, the song that we spent most of the class trying to learn choreography for was, Tempo by EXO, and I mean, like, the good thing is basically, like, DJ tries to narrow down, like, the best hits, or like the best, like, most important parts of the choreography into like something you can learn in 10 minutes. So yeah, on that front it was easier, but still, for me, trying to learn choreography for the first time was really hard. So I have a long way to go. Definitely, it's gonna be a lot of, like, sore, like, days after, definitely. But I'm determined. I want to be able to do it when I get to Korea. Number 2, NFL playoffs are starting. So it used to be a tradition where I wouldn't shave until after the Patriots won or lost the Super Bowl. But I honestly don't think they're making to the Super Bowl this year. So, like, I don't see any point.
You're just not even gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm not even. And also, it's just really annoying because, like, I can't grow a mustache or, like, a beard or anything. So it usually just ends up being like a whiskers. So it's really embarrassing trying to go into work with, like, looking like that for, like, a good month and a half. So yeah, just I forget about it. And number 3, we have officially booked all our accommodations for Seoul and Tokyo. Finally.
Yep.
So, like, the trip's, like, official at this point. Like, we pretty much have everything nailed down. We have, like, the accommodations. Jacob has to get his passport thing. All I know is he's going
to his visa.
Yeah, he has to get his Korean visa, which I think he's going to be coming down to. He's going to be staying in my house in a couple weeks or so to take care of that. But yeah, 3 months away. That's I can't even think about it at this point now. It's yeah, I know. Too bad.
So jealous. Excited for that 14-hour flight.
Oh my god. I will either be accustomed to Korean time before I make the flight, or I will try to make myself accustomed to.
Oh, you don't even need to. It's easy going there. It's coming back that's a nightmare.
Oh, okay. Well, because I want to avoid like being jet lagged, because again we only have 5 or 6 days in Seoul and Tokyo, so I
You'll
don't
be fine. You'll be fine going there. Like, basically, what I did, at least when I went to study abroad, is my flight was at like 3 p.m. and I'm pretty sure my flight this time is
my flights are at the same time.
And you'll get there like the same time the next day. So basically, if you just like don't sleep on the flight, I don't know, I can't sleep on flights, so I just didn't sleep.
Oh, that's a problem.
And then,
I knock out so easily.
Okay, so maybe that'll screw you up. For me, I can't sleep, so like I just basically got there at like 3 p.m. the next day, which was like 3 a.m. Our time, like my internal clock time, and then I just stayed up till like 7 or 8 p.m. and then just crashed, and then I was fine because like it was basically like I was up all night, and then I was so tired that I fell asleep at like 8 in the morning, but it was 8 p.m. Korea time, so it worked out, and then I just stayed that adjusted.
Yeah, because I get there on like Easter, so I don't want to like waste any of like the time or whatever.
Yeah,
too, so
but then. When you get back, you will be dead for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
at least
yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna like go to work for a good 3 weeks, honestly, but we'll figure that out. And before I forget, actually, just a minor thing. As always, we want people to join Discord because it's mutual lit. But actually, we finally have our first community moderator. Officially in Sam.
Congratulations, Sam.
Yeah, she is been in charge of this Discord song rating insanity, which I did not participate in because I was lost by the time we started it, and also I've just been busy with TDAs. But yeah, it's really cool to see all the stuff that our community's been doing. So yeah, we definitely had to give her the ban hammer, but not the Dan hammer. Only Cooper gets the Dan hammer.
Cooper
only from me. Yeah, shout out to Sam and everyone in the Discord. Like, I spend all my time at work in that Discord.
Don't let Target hear that.
Yeah, don't say that out loud. You're gonna get fired.
I mean, I'm always productive at work.
Always.
You just see like a red dot just on Cooper's forehead. A target. Oh, how did I miss that? How did I miss that opportunity?
Yeah, you really screwed that up.
Oh fuck. Oh, Cooper, introduce yourself.
Also, we are joined by Cooper for his first official episode as a host, regular host. If you remember, he was on the LunaCast way back when, like 4 or 5 months ago. That was your only appearance, right?
I was on the KCON.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on KCON too. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you recognize him from KCON and the LunaCast. But we are adding him as a regular host so that we can like switch around people and we don't all have to be available every week to host. And there'll be episodes where all 4 of us are on too, like next week with the awards. Right? Are all 4 of us on the awards? I don't remember.
Not me.
Andrew's shaking his head. Cooper won't be there. Never mind. Whatever. I'm sure at some point we'll have four people on.
Yeah.
Or 5 if we end up getting a guest.
If Umu shows up or something.
It will just be madness. So look forward to that.
Our reviews will be past 2 hours of review.
Oh my God.
Finally.
Especially if it's me and Umu. We can talk about an album like on an hour just by ourselves. So.
Yep. So eventually, Cooper, you'll need to get your own thing for your intro. But
yeah,
we don't expect you to
out.
get one ASAP or first episode 1. Granted, Jacob doesn't really have a thing. He tried to have a thing and then he lost the thing.
Yeah, he just has hashtag no blown out.
Yeah.
I was thinking like underrated boy group song of the week, maybe something like that.
Okay, please,
That'd be fun.
We need that.
I have thousands.
Let's move on to topic 1, which is Apink's % mini album review. We have Jacob's notes, so I will be reading them. When do you want me to read them at his normal? So it'll be like me, Andrew, Jacob, Cooper.
We could just read them at the end.
So that I'm going. Well, but then I'm reading 2 things in a row. Like that's what I was thinking.
No, I mean we read it after Cooper.
I know, but then I would say my stuff for the next song right after that.
Okay, fine. We'll just leave him in.
So
his
I was like
spot.
Breaking up my own talking between you two.
All right. Let's go for it.
First song is % or which is the title track. And if you're in Discord, you know that everyone loves it. And stream Yeah, exactly.
Or else.
And fun fact, I don't know if you guys knew this, but is because if you turn a % sign That's what it says in Korean. Like
What?
circle, line, circle is ung.
Oh, yeah, I was
So
watching
if you turn the percent sign so it's
there's
flat,
a Korean symbol
and
that
it's
looks
a Korean
like,
symbol,
okay,
ung.
Okay, see,
It's ung. Like,
I can't read moon runes, so I don't know that.
so yeah, so that's where ung comes from. But yeah, this title track, for me, it's another solid Apink song, continuing their like different direction from I'm So Sick. I really like how mysterious the song sounds with like the oohs in the background, and then the synth lines definitely got a mysterious feel to it. And on like with that synth line in the pre-chorus, like the vocal melody and the synths line up and do the same melody. I really like when songs do that. So that definitely caught my ear. I thought the music video is really cool. There's some like really cool visual effects. There, like, especially the one thing that stood out is there's a shot, I think it's like Namju and Unji, and there's like this weird like overlay of a flower blooming, and then it cuts to Chorong and the way she's sitting with her dress around her, it's like a flower. But it's like just this weird glitchy vaporwave Andrew
Hell yeah.
effect that like
Hell yeah.
that he likes. But I thought that was really cool. And then I also liked the choreo a lot. I really liked the focus on like the hand movements during the choreo. So yeah, I loved it. Surprise, surprise, Apink stan.
Okay, so hands down, this is the best song Apink has ever released in their entire history. Like, I mean, granted, like that's my Apink exposure is very limited, so that's not saying much. But still, this just blew me away in a way that I mean, like even I'm So Sick didn't. Like I had my issues with parts of that, so that's why I didn't completely enjoy it 100%. But this song is an early frontrunner for one of like the best songs of the year. I mean, obviously it's might get knocked down in the pecking order once we get in further into 2019. But wow, just all props go to Black Eyed Pills song. They really like knocked it out of the park with both Ung Ung and Gotta Go by Chungha. Like it's funny because both of those songs just came out like roughly around the same time, and they're both done by Black Eyed. Yeah, Black Eyed Pills song just really is just killing 2019 so far. Also, I'm really loving this trend of girl groups or like solo female artists that are really like going towards this 80s electropop sound. That's just been been a really popular trend lately, just among like obviously like Yubin or like Sunmi's messed around with it, or I really enjoy this type of music. Just particularly by myself. So yeah, I'm really enjoying seeing that sort of leak its way into the girl group side of things. So as for the actual song, I guess just the feel of it, there's the riff is just super like that dun 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 dun. It's just like the most addicting part of it. The part I especially liked was there's a section like kind of like a pre-chorus where the vocals sort of mirror that riff almost to a T, which is a nice touch. Yep. So yeah, that's probably like the most appealing part of the song. I'd say is just that riff just gets stuck in your head like it does like in mine like all the time. Like it literally, even if I'm not streaming I'm just like dun 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 dun, dun like it right in my head. So as for the music video and choreography, visually, I think it's a major improvement over what I've seen from Apink before. Just obviously the heavy use of pink definitely ties into like the name, like that's an obvious aesthetic, really interesting sort of visual elements. Like they have this like pink handgun that's covered in like all these like big ass like gemstones or whatever. Like I don't know why, but okay, I guess that's I mean, I don't know if there's I don't think anyone like pulled the trigger or tried to shoot it, so we don't have any improper use of firearms.
Yeah.
So
well, if they were pointing it at people though.
I mean, yeah, I guess they're pointing. The thing is, you can't even see the safety though, because it's literally just like all covered in just like gems and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The choreography is great. Definitely, just it's a lot more intricate than what I usually see from. Honestly, when I usually end up seeing from Apink choreography. So it's everything about this song is just a huge step up for me. Like honestly, like again, it's like I almost don't recognize this group from what they were releasing before. Yeah. Honestly, it's such a transformation for them, and I feel like I feel like I don't know, like I've been wanting this for a while, and I don't know if maybe they've been wanting this for a while, because I mean, they're all in their like mid to late 20s ish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're around my age, maybe a little younger. I know like Ha Young's a couple of years younger, I think.
yeah. So I mean, they can only go with an innocent concept for so long before it starts getting ridiculous. Like you're in your 30s and still talking about like "Oppa, I love you" and that sort of thing. So it was definitely time for
Your
this
oppas are
transition.
40 years old.
And I honestly don't know who my Apink bias is anymore after this. I honestly don't know, just because I love Chodong's like the twin like fishtail braid pink hair look was just incredible this comeback. So like I think like Eunji was like my main bias, but I don't know. I really don't know at this point, so I'll have to figure that out at some point. That's it.
For Jacob's notes, I'm just gonna read them verbatim. He said, absolutely fantastic choice in title track. The song blew me away. As soon as the beat dropped in the intro to the song, I knew this one would be good. What really makes this song stand out to me is how effective the build-ups are, which transition seamlessly into the following parts. This is especially evident in the build-up leading to the chorus, which punched me in the face with Eunji's catchy vocals. I didn't think they'd pull it off, but they managed to top the likes of even I'm So Sick with their own discography.
Cooper.
Okay, so this song has like taken over my life since it came out.
We thought, which is funny because the beginning of the year, Chungha took over your life.
Yeah.
And you're like just playing that nonstop, and then this came out a few days later.
Yeah, this is already like my 6th or 5th most played song ever. And,
How many Scrabbles? How many Scrabbles? Be honest.
Yeah, how many Scrabbles does it have?
104 right now.
That doesn't mean anything to me, but it sounds like a lot.
We're only 12 days into 2019, and you already have a song with over 100 Scrabbles.
Is that plays?
Yeah.
Like, do you get one Scrabble per play? Are they equivalent?
Yeah, yes, one.
Okay.
One equals one.
You played the song 109 times.
I played everywhere. I like walking to work, at work, in the shower. It's so versatile. But yeah, the song itself, like the first couple of times, I wasn't sure how to feel about it. But I just kept playing it. I kept watching the music video, and I was starting to get really hooked on it. It has like pretty kind of a similar structure as I'm So Sick, with like the verses being kind of like hollowed out, and then like the second half the bass drops.
Yeah,
it's like so addictive. I really like the running synth, like the kind of like chiptune, like high pitched, the one you were talking about, Andrew.
Yeah,
that one. I don't know, just, and the vocals are really weird in this song. Like, it's very aren't conventional at all, especially for a Apink song.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the like Eunji's bridge. It's like something I've never really heard before in K-pop. Just like her melody, and then like that instrumental break at the end is great. The choreo is pretty good. I didn't get to see much of it in the music video, but the stage.
Yeah, you gotta watch the live stages.
Yeah, the stages have been great though. And I think I've settled as Bomi as my bias.
See, I didn't care all too much about Bomi at first, just because the first time we ever started paying attention to them was like the comeback was 5, and she had this horrible short haircut that like bob cut that was that's probably one of the worst K-pop haircuts I've ever seen. But now that she has long hair, she might be bias record material.
Yeah, I just started watching like Bomi fan cams and concert performances, so I think. But yeah, this
hardcore.
Song.
Oh god.
Oh, I was just saying, like, this song is easily like gonna be in my top 10 unless 2019 blows.
This is insane. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
if
like,
2019 is incredible and this doesn't end up on the top 10, then that means there must be something else coming out. Nate, you were saying?
I'm a hardcore Apink stan. My bias is Yu Kyung.
Okay.
Bring back Yu Kyung. He hasn't been in the group for like 5 years.
Oh.
Okay, moving on to Hug Me. For this, I love the R&B beat mixed with like the 80s synths and like the funky bass line. It gives it like a really cool retro feel. And for me, like I wrote down the word obviously, but like for me, it's obvious that like Apink's vocals fit this type of song amazingly. I don't know if everyone knows it, but like go listen to the ballad and R&B versions of their old singles from the Dear album from 2016, because there's like a R&B version of A Love and No, I think Mr. Chew, maybe, I don't know. There's like ballad and R&B versions of a few of their like more poppy up, like their old singles that are all poppy and upbeat, and they kill it. So yeah, I liked it.
This is kind of them crashing back down to earth a bit for me, because this this sound is definitely a lot safer than something like Ung was. So it was all right, I'd say. But at least with these songs, they're just these sort of like chiller songs from Apink. It's basically just an Unji vocal showcase, so that's not a bad thing ever.
Jacob said, it doesn't immediately stand out at first, but I love the bass and subtle guitar you can hear throughout the instrumental. They really make the song for me. The beginning starts out a bit bland, but as soon as we get into the actual main verses of the song, it picks up a lot for me. Still probably the weakest song on the album, though.
Wow. It's not his favorite song of the weakest song in the album.
It's the weakest song on the album. It's one of his favorites.
The Discord roasts him so hard over the Discord song ratings. Everything it's my favorite song or whatever.
That was so good. So this song, I kind of agree with Jacob. It didn't really stand out at first. I guess because Ung had so many like dynamic changes in it. This one kind of like felt like one note to me.
Yeah.
But it's still like a nice cool down, I guess, mid tempo. I really like the guitar in the back, and like Nathan said, like 80 synths. But yeah, not a standout track, but still pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. Next we have What Are You Doing? And for me, the instrumental opening of like just the snaps and the distorted synth were like really good. Leads like amazingly into the vocals, like with the really experimental beat. What are you saying?
I can't snap. Like Nothing's coming.
Oh, you can't snap? Oh.
Nothing's coming.
Cooper, can you snap? Because Jacob and Andrew can't. Thank you.
Oh my god, why am I so incompetent at life?
It's okay. It's okay. I can't whistle, so it's fine.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't whistle.
I stopped, or I used to be able to whistle, but ever since I got my wisdom teeth taken out, no, like that actually fucked with my ability to whistle.
Yeah. But yeah, back to What Are You Doing? So yeah, like I like the opening. It leads amazingly into the vocals with like the super experimental beat. I thought the chorus like brings a more standard beat. But it brings that distorted synth back, which I liked, and stopped it from just being too boring. And the bridge is utterly amazing. Like the breakdown of the synths and then the talk rapping with like the super chiptune-y synth solo. Like it's like Metroid sounding. Like it's straight out of like Metroid instrumental music, like NES stuff. That was like utterly amazing. I loved it so much.
This was produced by Tak, basically just a recurring producer on some mostly album tracks for girl groups, guy groups. He makes his way around, but he's a perfect producer to bring on to this mini album. And I feel like for the new direction that Apink's trying to go towards, he's definitely like a perfect fit for them. Because his signature sort of like synth heavy sort of electropop sound is just I'd say this is probably the strongest of the album tracks, because I feel like it ties so well together with Ung while still like being its own sort of individual sound. The thing I love the most actually isn't it surprisingly isn't like the vocals. It's just Tak loves like doing these like keyboard like synth like solos or whatever, and he like on his like mashups or his own music. So I love seeing that actually sneak its way onto a proper K-pop song, and I love how he's actually making his way to more proper K-pop producing, because I feel like he brings such a unique dynamic to K-pop music production, but again, it's just
Mm-hmm.
I'm still just blown away by how different of a sound this is for Apink. And I constantly keep having to tell myself, like, is this Luna or something? Like, it sounds like a completely different group than what you'd normally hear from Apink. And I'm 100% like in favor of this new direction that they're going in.
Mm-hmm.
I can make an ung joke, but I don't understand. What does ung mean? Like, what is is it just like a like it's just
the sound.
It's just the sound, right? So just I'm 100 ung.
I think
Ung.
I could be
I don't
wrong.
know.
Yeah, I was watching PD's video, and he said it's like a eggyo sound. in Korean.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So like we
yeah, like
Wing wing.
like
Yeah.
like begging Aegyo sound type thing.
Oh Lord.
But yeah. Jacob said, "For what
Oh,
are you doing?"
yeah.
This one has an awesome instrumental that once again has an awesome bass line. They did a really nice job using the bass as almost like the percussion of the song, which I really liked, because in a lot of modern pop music they rely too heavily on hi-hats and other types of drums to make the sound appeal to people. So it's gotten stale at this point to me. Group vocals in the chorus really stood out to me as well.
Cooper.
Yeah, so I really liked this song, more than Hug Me, so I wrote in my notes that, yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a EXID B-side at times.
Yeah, definitely.
With like,
I could see
yeah,
that.
like the funky instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also noted the amazing breakdown in the bridge. That was one of my favorite parts in the whole album.
Yeah.
And like the last chorus is also good with all the runs and harmonies. So I think, yeah, this is definitely one of my like top 2 or top 3 on the album.
One of your favorites.
Definitely one of my
Stealing.
favorites.
Stealing Jacob's tagline. Okay, next we have Push and Pull. For me, the funky bass line is amazing as always, which a lot of the songs on this album had. I liked how upbeat the song was, because the previous songs were more like experimental and chill, where this was like an evolution of Apink's classic stuff, is kind of what it reminded me of. It also really, really reminded me, and I know a lot of people don't like it on Discord, and this is 100% the reason why. This really reminds me of a Twice B-side, and I'm like the only person that likes Twice B-sides apparently, so like,
I mean, I hate Twice
everyone on
B-sides,
Discord hates it.
but I don't hate this. I don't know.
Really? Everyone on Discord says this is the worst song easily.
Oh, what the hell? No,
Yeah.
that'd be like
Easy.
Hug Me.
I
or-
can't.
No, I don't know. It's another one.
I would agree with that, but I'll get to
Yeah.
that later.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Spicy Cooper incoming.
But yeah, I liked it a lot.
I'd like it. I think I liked it because I didn't really get a Twice B-side vibe from it. If anything, it kind of reminded me of The Boots by Gugudan. Like almost same key, same sort of melody and song structure in that sort of way. And also just very bass heavy, akin to The Boots. So I did enjoy the song overall, but there's this one part that I wish they brought back. They do it in like the first like chorus or like post-chorus, but they don't bring it back afterwards. There's like a part where it's like, yeah, they're like chaka chaka man, like, and it's sort of on like a descending scale, which I really enjoyed. But they didn't bring it back for the second time around because they just go straight into like the bridge or something like that afterwards. But if they brought that detail back, I think I would have enjoyed the song a bit more. Cooper.
Nope, Jacob.
Oh, Jacob.
You
I keep
just
thinking
completely
that's the thing
forget
because
that
that's why it's so
Jacob
weird
Poor
because
Jacob.
Jacob's not here, so I'm like,
I know, but he goes in his normal
yeah,
spot.
okay.
I just didn't want to talk a bunch in a row. That was the reason I wanted to do it there. For Jacob, he said the song stylistically sounds that was alliteration all over the place. The song stylistically sounds somewhere in between what their old music sounded like and what their new music currently sounds like. The pre-chorus build up of really effectively using layered vocals and lots of percussion, which I enjoyed. The chorus is super catchy and a super high impact due to the successful build-up. So he's similar to me. He feels like it's an evolution on their old style. Cooper.
So yeah, this one, I really like the instrumentation on it. Like I think I heard an electric guitar somewhere in there. towards the end. I don't know. I'm still trying to cipher songs better, but yeah, the bass lines for this album are really good. And I really like the piano in the background too. The only part I didn't really enjoy as much is the chorus. Something about the vocal style they used, I guess, did remind me of a Twice song.
Yeah.
So it felt a little bit grating to me. So
because like that da da da, like it's just like it's super high.
The chorus sounds like a Twice B-side.
So like when Nayeon gets into her whiny voice a bit, that style of thing.
Yeah. So this is not one of my favorites.
Moving on to my favorite song on the album, Enough. Easily my favorite song on the album. For me, the way the song starts like really draws you in my opinion. This song is very similar in my opinion to Miss A's Hush, another one of my favorite songs of all time. And the reason is I really love songs like this that slowly introduce layers. That's like one of my favorite things in music, and Hush starts out the same way. It's very, very empty and slowly builds the music. And this is the same way. Like the very beginning, you get the piano line with the softer singing, then the funky guitar comes in and the singing gets harmonized, and then the big band section shows up during the pre-chorus, and like it just, the way that builds slowly is like one of my favorite things. So this was easily my favorite. I think the chorus could be a little more interesting. Yeah. But everything else makes up for it like 1,000%. So I was able to overlook the slightly standard chorus. Also, the rap part goes super hard. It might be the fastest I've ever heard Apink rap, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was like, when I heard it, I was just like, what is going on? They're rapping so fast. That's not a thing Apink does. So yeah, I love this song.
Yeah, I do enjoy the chorus despite it being a bit, I don't know, repetitive, or not necessarily repetitive, but a bit bland in that sort
standard,
of way. Or yeah, just it's very run of the mill when it comes to, I guess, their style of music. But I'd say like the song doesn't have any faults in just like being, or like on the music itself. I feel like it just having both this and Hug Me just kind of felt a bit redundant in a way, because I feel like they're two similar tracks, and on a mini album that's 6 tracks long, I felt like they could have cut either one or the other. I probably prefer Enough more than I did Hug Me, so I think yeah, they could have just made cuts in favor of the more interesting track of the two. But yeah, I'd still say it's not too bad of a song otherwise, but yeah, nothing else about it just really leaped out in comparison.
For Jacob, he said he loves the way the piano plays along with the percussion. That's love with like 5 O's, by the way. Love the way the piano plays along with the percussion. I think it works super well, and when the guitar joins in with the brass in the chorus, it makes for a really impactful chorus that stood out to me as well. So that's interesting. I had the opposite. Chorong's really soft vocals stood out to me in the song as well. Probably my favorite song on the album. So he agrees with me. Surprise, surprise. We're the most compatible in the song ranking by like twice as many points as everyone else in Discord.
Yeah.
So.
So I actually like the chorus in this song. I think the more minimalistic route they went worked in its favor. The guitar is really nice, and I like the horns in the chorus as well. And I think we decided that there's like some weird pitched cowbell in this song.
Yeah.
I really like that part also throughout the song. More cowbell.
It needs more cowbell. Thank you. So many people don't understand that reference. It pisses me off.
That's because you're old.
Hey,
that's
look
like
who's talking.
That's like the best SNL skit ever.
Yeah, that's the only, like, if you had to watch like one SNL skit, it'd be that basically.
And finally, we have Memories, which in my opinion is an absolutely amazing piano ballad. When the harmonies started, I got chills, and at the end, it becomes a power ballad, and the build-up is insane. And I love when we get power ballads in K-pop, because we never get electric guitar ballads. It's very rare.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to end the mini album. Nice change of pace in comparison to the rest of the sort of like electronic synth style that they're trying to go with. So it's a good balance, and obviously Apink loves their ballads. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say other than it's a good song. Unji obviously gets to show off her vocals again. So yeah, great way to end the mini album.
Jacob says piano-driven ballad with a little bit of R&B elementals. R&B elementals is a new RPG enemy. A little bit of R&B elements that really highlight Apink's vocal talents. Typically, Unji is the one most talked about in vocal department, but I think everyone shines well in this song.
Yeah, so I agree. This was like the perfect closer. I think Tak made this one also.
Yeah.
So
Also
yeah, I don't think I've really heard of that producer before, so I'm really interested to see what they do next.
He usually does remixes.
Yeah, which are like sick ass remixes.
He got a Dreamcatcher one, right?
Yeah, he did a Dreamcatcher one. No, that was Dreamcatcher's actual producer. No,
oh yeah, that's right.
He's done twice remixes. He did a remix for
twice.
Bada. Right. He got famous because he made these like. He basically took like all the popular songs of like 2015 and like 2016 and made a mashup of them, like a really like cool. I think he was inspired by Madion, who did sort of like mashup style like that. So that's where I first heard of him, and then he sort of started to, I guess that sort of put his name out there, and he started to get more offers to work on actual K-pop music. So yeah, he's been around for a while now. But yeah, I always love seeing when he pops up in K-pop album reviews like this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool. But yeah, I like Nathan said at the end, I really like when all like the strings and the drums kick in. It's really nice. Really good power ballad. So yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's go to ratings. For me, this is a 10 out of 10, no question. Honestly, I think this is already a strong contender for mini album of the year. I think all the songs on this album are fantastic. And yeah, in my opinion, or like in my personal like mini album of the year, this is gonna be hard to top, I think.
So my music breakdown is, remember, I'm on a much different scale than what Nate and Jacob and the rest of you guys will operate on. So I gave it a 5.5 out of 7 for the music. I feel like, yeah, Ung is very strong, but I feel like outside of maybe like What Are You Doing and Push and Pull, I'd say that the album tracks didn't necessarily hold their weight as much in that sort of effect, which is why I couldn't give it like a 6.5 or like 7 like perfect in terms of music score. But I'd say like for me, I'd say like a 5.5 is very good, or like still a very good score. As for concept, it's a 2 out of 3. I love the choreography, as I mentioned before. I love the visual elements that they provided. I just love this new look that Apink is going for. It's just a completely it's just a complete overhaul of their image essentially, and I can't wait to, I hope this isn't their only release of the year. I want to see what else they have to offer us in the rest of 2019. So that would average out, or that would add up to a 7.5 out of 10, which again in my scale is, again, this is me not adding like the bias point. So basically like all my scores are just
there was no
really
bias
low.
point. I loved all those songs.
Yeah,
I didn't have problems with the songs.
Yeah, so
it was 7 out of 7 for music.
Yeah, so a 7.5 for me would probably be like what I consider really a very good album. So yeah, I'd still, I would agree that this is a very just Ung on its own would probably be a contender for one of the best songs of the year.
You're on the Aiden Flixer scale, where a really good song is a 7.
Well, yeah, no, because again, like the bias point really skewed everything towards like 8 and 9, but yeah, now it's just skewing everything a bit lower. Well, hopefully that means like
joke's on you.
if everything really
The bias point didn't matter for me. Everything's still an 8 or 9 or a 10.
No, that's the thing. It's gonna be a lot harder for me to give out 10. So that means you'll know if I give something a 10, that's like God like tier for me. So what was Jacob's?
Jacob actually has like pretty detailed notes. So he said for music, he gave it a 7 out of 7. He said, although Hug Me didn't stand out as much as the other songs on the album, I don't think it's enough to take away a point because I still think it's a good song that deserves to be praised. Just had the unfortunate fate of being placed directly after Ung. That being said, every song on the album stands well on their own and will be and this will be a mini album I'll be returning to every now and again. And for concept, he gave it a 3 out of 3, so he gave it a 10 total. In the visual department, I think this release really did a good job as well. The MV is beautiful, the girls look beautiful, the choreo is impactful and memorable, and I also would like to shout out the visual design on the album art, which I think looks really cool. Closing thoughts. This release caught me by surprise. I like every song on the album, and the title track is especially addictive. This is definitely one of Apink's best releases, in my opinion. I hope they can keep this positive trend going.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper?
Your first ranking.
My first ranking ever.
Oh wait, no, we reviewed Luna.
No,
Luna.
Luna, yeah.
Plus.
Okay, but first official.
So for music, I gave it a 6 out of 7. I took a little bit off from Push Pull and Hug Me, even though I still overall like those, but Push and Pull especially didn't really grab me. So yeah, 6 out of 7. And then concept, I gave it 3 out of 3. I really love the music video, the choreo over Nayeon's and Bomi's hair are amazing. Yeah, so 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay,
So it's a 9.125.
which would average that'd be a 9, which would get the
9 out of 10.
truly
Daebak album.
Yeah, it's a truly Daebak album, definitely. And I think hopefully Apink. Do we know how well this is doing in Korea? Like again, it's interesting to see. Just again,
it
Apink
hasn't
pivoting.
been out long enough for.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if they win next, because they haven't been able to win yet. I don't think they've been eligible. I think they're eligible next week.
Hopefully,
so we'll see
hopefully
if they wins.
Yeah, because the one thing that I'd be afraid of is just again with this. I love this drastic change, but I'm sure the hardcore like Apink stands are like, where is like all like the old school like basically they're very like adamant about keeping the sound like forever basically. So I want to see.
I'm So Sick did well.
Yeah, if hopefully if this is well received, then that'll only be reassuring to the entire concept change. So truly Daebak album.
Do you have anything to say, Cooper? You looked like you were trying
I
to say
was just looking at I was looking at the charts. It looks like it's past 10 million views on YouTube already.
Okay. That's good.
And it's like top 20 on Melon. So it's doing okay.
That's pretty good.
Because there's still a lot of competition from all the like December releases and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, at this point in Apink's career, they're not really punching on the same level as a Twice or a Blackpink or that sort of thing. So I'd say that those numbers are pretty good for I guess where they're at in their careers. So
yeah. I'm So Sick won a week or two of music shows for the most part. So we'll see if it gets something next week. I'm trying to think of who their competition is besides Uju Sonyo. And there was nothing else, was there? Anything big? Not that I can think of.
Chungha.
Well, Chungha's been winning. Chungha's already. She's got a week or two lead on them though.
Okay.
So like they're the new thing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Topic
Speaking
2.
of Uju Sonyo.
Let's get this panda out of here. Let's get Uju Sonyo. Woo! The Uju Bong. So yeah, topic 2 is Uju Sonyo's Uju Stay album review, or WJ Stay, which Andrew will be reading.
All right, so we start off with the lead single titled "La La Love." So my thoughts on this are, oh my god, full bloom! Holy shit! I'm surprised they didn't for as much as I loved Uju Sonyo for years or ever since I first got introduced to them. I'm surprised Full Bloom never really made it onto my radar until like last year, and they've been making so much of Muju Sonya's music. So yeah, I'd say the production would actually be the highlight of this this mini album, or just like this song in particular. It's an interesting fusion of, basically it kind of feels like a mix of what they were doing on Save Me Save You with the sort of, I guess, traditional sound that they have on stuff like Dreams Come True and I Wish, that sort of like synth heavy style, so mixed with the sort of I guess more sexier style essentially of Save Me Save You. So it's an interesting fusion between the two. Again, as sad as I am that the C line isn't here, I'd say sort of, I guess, maybe just out of circumstance, it's made them a lot more varied in who gets lines. So there's a really interesting section where Sola and Yoram like trade lines, and Yoram has this like really like deep lower like da 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 like voice, which is really nice because it feels like the only person that they ever utilize like a deep voice is with Exy, like whenever she's doing like raps or like, I don't know, that sort of thing. So as sad as I am that C line isn't around, again, it sort of just made them, it sort of forced them to be more resourceful with the members that they do have. Again, speaking of, there's like this part during the rap, like there's this really nice piano instrumental that they sort of like go away from the synth sound for. So really nice addition. The only complaint would probably be, again, with Full Bloom being the main producer for Wuju Sonyo, it seems, is that they tend to write the same chorus a lot of the time. Like, it's, if you listen to like a lot of Wuju Sonyo songs that are in this style, it's kind of like the same melody in a way. And I'd say it's not something that I'm necessarily like, it's not repulsive in a way, because I mean, I love Wuju Sonyo. They're probably one of my favorite. They're probably like one or two on my IOI branch rankings, but I'd say they do need to mix it up a bit, because they are starting to get a bit samey on that front, and it's kind of a shame in comparison to how experimental or how different the rest of the song has been sounding. So I do wish they would push a bit further into the chorus. As for like the video, I don't understand it. Like, it's like a random, like, is this just like another one of the cases where Korea just loves The Greatest Showman, so they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna make Wuju Sonyo into carnival wing people? I don't know, like I don't understand the concept of it, but at least the choreography was nice, and that element was still really appealing, particularly with the choreography. There's this really nice part where like the la 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 la, where they do hand choreography, and they do it to the syllables of la 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 la, which is something you don't often see in girl group choreography. I don't know why they try to. A lot of the time, like, girl group choreography seems oversimplified in comparison to like guy group choreography. I guess they don't really see girl groups doing powerful choreography all too often outside of Girl Crush, but I do love that element. Just like adding a bit more complexity is all I ask of most girl group choreography, because I feel like there's just so much more you can explore while not necessarily compromising the sort of theme or mood that you're trying to depict in girl group songs for the most part. So those are my thoughts.
Okay. We got Jacob's thoughts are: this song has a lot going on in its instrumental, which is something I always like to see, since the current trend in pop music is to make the instrumental track as sparse as possible. There's a subtle thing going on with what sounds to me like a guitar coming in every now and again, in the random break that he liked. The random breakdown in the pre-chorus is not something I'm a big fan of, but I love the energy of the chorus. Super hype. Overall, I like the song a lot.
Cooper.
Okay. So I really like this song. Actually, I love this song. It's just been overshadowed this past week
by Eungang. Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I really love starting with the intro. Like Exy's English is, we need more Exy English, honestly. I really love her intro. I actually like the pre-chorus breakdown with like the heavier bass and like the lower vocals. The chorus isn't as strong as the past two singles, in my opinion, but it's still pretty solid. I think why I like the choreography so much is I think their most recent choreography is they're trying to like sync up the moves with the beat more.
Yeah.
Like, similar to how like 17 always does theirs.
Yeah, which is why I really love 17 choreography. That's a good comparison.
And when you have like this many members, that's like the best way you can like do that without it looking like sloppy. The music video is I don't really get the carnival theme with any of the songs. Well, there's one song later, but it's still pretty good, and they all look amazing, of course. The outfits, all that.
Yeah, the style looks great.
Yeah.
It seems, and like it took the China line not being here, I guess, but Daewon's getting more lines as a main vocal, so I like that at least. But it's probably like in my top 5 WJSN title tracks.
For me, my first comment in all caps is Luda is adorable and gets so much screen time, because she's all over the music video, and I was super happy. But yeah, I love the focus on the strings through the verses. The pre-chorus part, unlike Jacob, I thought it was really cool that it contrasts like the upbeat chorus really well with like the weird rap breakdown type thing. There's like some really cool dichotomy going on in the song with that stuff. I had to use my favorite word. I did it on
dichotomy.
Purpose. Dichotomy. And like Cooper said, I think the line distribution seems, and Andrew as well, the line distribution seems to be getting better, as opposed to previous songs. I thought the music video, great style, like the carnival thing's weird, but like the actual like outfits and stuff and was great. The choreo, I thought it was nice because I felt like it matched Save Me, Save You really well, like as a really similar style. But yeah, this song didn't pass Save Me, Save You as my favorite single, but I thought it was a good follow-up.
Yeah, I don't think it would surpass that necessarily, but I'd say it's still a good follow-up in that sort of way. Yeah. Next, we have a song titled You Got, which is produced by Full Bloom yet again. It's very, very different style to what La La Love was. This is some straight up like 70s like funk disco banger track thing. I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's like someone's reading my mind when they release these tracks. Specifically in terms of stylistic similarities, it reminds me a lot of the song. I don't know if you remember the song "We Together" from like the Produce 48 finale. The do 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 bop bop bop. It's kind of got that same funk element to it. So both have used good use of bass lines, very prominent. But this one, and You Got It, almost makes the bass line like the main melody or the main appeal of the song in a way. If you listen very carefully, I know it's for most listeners, it's not really something that stands out if you're not. If you don't have a background in music, or if you're not looking for it, because usually I think most people tend to just filter out the bass line, because that's the point of the bass line. You're supposed to
you're supposed to feel it, not hear it.
And no, it's supposed to set tempo, not necessarily be as intricate or as decorative as the guitar or other elements. But yeah, I love that element. As a bassist myself, I'm a sucker for anything with good bass lines. So. Oh God, hold on. My notes are weird.
You gotta hurry up. I thought you had a deadline at 1.
Yeah, I know. No. But yeah, I'd say this is of the album tracks. I'd say this would be the best one, like by far, honestly. So I enjoyed it.
Jacob said, I like this a lot more than La La Love, which is great considering I like that song. I love how sweet the vocals sound in the song. The instrumental is super funky and the bass line is killing it. Also, Exy slays with her rap in this song. It really turned out great.
Cooper.
Yeah, after like the first 3 seconds, I was like, this is an Andrew song. So I have to tell him about it.
30 seconds. It took like 5 seconds.
No, like the first three
Yeah.
seconds. I was
Yeah.
like, but like, yeah, like the bass line is like so amazing. Like it's so addictive. I've played this more than La La Love recently. So, and like every song I wrote, another solid XE rap. That's all. It's
One of your favorite XE raps on the album.
Of the year.
It's like, oh, like her raps, they don't really vary too much in, like I guess speed.
Wait, you said that for every song?
Yes, I wrote solid XE rap for every song.
That's interesting. We'll get
Is
there
that your thing?
later,
Is that your one of my favorite songs of the album now? You're just,
yeah, it's
even
his
in,
favorite XE rap of the album.
even if we're covering like I don't know, like friggin' BTS, this is
Yeah.
my favorite XE rap of the album.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, the song is definitely been running for like best B-side by Would You Sonia. So
Oh yeah, definitely one of their best B-sides.
For me, my first comment was "Holy Funk Batman."
Holy funk, Batman! Hell yeah!
But yeah, it was like I was so overwhelmed at the beginning of the song in a good way. There's just so much going on. There's like so many different funky synths happening, and then like you guys all said, like the bass line is just complete fire. It's so good. I said this is like super spacey funk, which fits like Uju Sonya's motif because it still has that like spacey vibe.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
it's also just like this funk song. I don't know if it's my favorite Uju Sonyo B-side,
No,
but it's
not
my
mine.
favorite Uju Sonyo instrumental.
Yeah,
Like
I could
track.
see
like,
that. Yeah.
if I ripped out the vocals, this would probably be my favorite Uju Sonyo song. If I ripped out the vocals out of every song that they have. So yeah, I loved it.
Next, we have Star, which is a ballad track and possibly one of the best album tracks. Honestly, again, I say this as the guy that hates ballads.
Wow.
Just because, mostly because I'm such a sucker for stuff that reminds me of SNSD ballads, and this this exceedingly is in the style of an SNSD type ballad. Just in terms of like the vocal quality that they have on this. Also, it has these during the chorus. Again, I'd say the thing that makes most ballads just boring as hell to me is that they're all very like formulaic to a T. But in this case, they have a really nice subtle dip into minor just to sort of like change things up a bit during the chorus, which is a really nice element. And again, it's like I don't think any of this could have been achieved without again, the great vocal performance that they had on here. And I know that's something that's not necessarily something that's highlighted when it comes to Wuju Sonyo, because it's literally like most people's extent to vocal knowledge when it comes to Wuju Sonyo is like, oh, it's just Junjung singing like 90% of the song. But in this case, they actually did a good job again of just splitting up the line distribution. So yeah, that I think that's what made it stand out a lot more to me.
Jacob has the opposite opinion.
Uh-oh.
He said, normally I quite enjoy these piano-led ballads, but Uju Sonya's vocals just don't do it for me. They don't really convey the amount of emotion and sincerity that I'm looking for in this type of song. That aside, I really do like the guitar and piano combo that they go with for the instrumental.
Cooper.
I kind of agree with Jacob on this one. I really like. I don't agree with the vocal part. I think like Subin and Ciola really stood out to me. But as for the instrumentation, it just coming from La La Love and you got, it was like too much of a bring down, so it just felt pretty generic to me still as a like soft ballad. But XE again with that good rap.
XE, one of his favorite raps on the album. Okay, for me, I'm in the Andrew camp. I thought it was very early Soshi style, so it drew me in more than normal. And I thought it showed off their vocals well. I like how quiet the instrumentals are compared to the vocals, and like helps you focus on the vocals. Also Yeonjung High Notes, because Yeonjung High Notes are great.
And probably the best time to use them are ballads.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Memories, and
which is an Apink cover of the Apink song that we reviewed last part, because they both had songs named Memories on these albums.
Jeez. In all honesty, I feel like this is kind of where the album kind of took a turn for the meh for me.
What?
Just because I feel like La La Love, You Got, and Star were just incredible, and I feel like the latter half of this album just kind of dropped the ball. Kind of similar to my thoughts when with Apink, but I mean, this song on its own isn't necessarily horrible, but I feel like placing it after Star is just really bad placement, because I feel like they're kind of similar in a way. So I feel like the effect is lost on me in that sort of way. Also,
That's interesting.
I feel like this is the point where I'm just like, they really are like, I know Cooper loves all the XE raps, but I feel like this was the point where I'm just like, wow, they're really trying to ham fist XE rap lines into every single song, even when it's not necessarily appropriate. And yeah, so this is probably the song that I barely listened to it. Like I skip it like all the time just because I feel I get nothing out of this song in all honesty. So yeah, it was not enjoyable in that way.
Yeah. Jacob said, I have a feeling this song might not stand out as much to other people, but personally I found the song to be really fun. I love the way the pace gradually picks up as they approach the chorus, which makes for a nice high impact. Nice high impact. The synth strings they use throughout the song are really nice as well. Cooper?
So yeah, this song, I feel like there's a song like this on every WJSN album.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Like it was like Renaissance on Would You Please.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like this style from them, so I can't really complain. As for the XE, I wrote the same thing, but I do agree that she actually has a really nice singing voice.
Which they don't utilize.
Yeah, they don't utilize really at all. But yeah, I still really like the strings in this, and the chorus is really good. And Day One, also this is an OT13 song.
Okay.
So, this is the OT13 song. Okay.
Yeah.
They just snuck the background vocals on.
Yeah, they each had like one line, I think, but I noticed Michi's line. I was like, oh, yes,
they're alive.
And yeah, I also really like Day One getting more English lines.
Yeah,
she's pretty decent at English, so.
Cooper, I'm gonna correct your pronunciation on your bias's name. It's a Dawan.
Dawan.
Da, not Day.
Dawan. I thought okay.
I
never verbally.
You've never heard it.
I never verbally talk about these things until now.
Oh yeah.
See,
yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to work on your your Korean pronunciation of names, because you what was it? It was Sola and
Dawan.
And Dawan, yeah.
Yeah,
it's something you'll get better at.
I just put the
Andrew was horrible before.
Yeah,
so.
I said Yunha, not Unha. So this is why I just make it a habit to put everything into Google Translate and then just copy that, just so I don't fuck up the names if I've never seen it before.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, it happens.
This way you'll
and somebody will say it in the comments. It's like, oh my god, it's not Day One. Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nate, what were your thoughts?
My notes are literally the exact opposite of Andrew's. So for me, like literally note for note. But my first note was like it's very like G-Friendish, especially with like the super fast strings. It definitely reminded me of a G-Friend song. But I said I actually like the placement of this after Star, because it takes the slow ballad and leads into the string-based pop song. So like I actually thought that was a good placement. And then Also, I absolutely love anytime there's rapping over string parts. So I thought this was one of XC's best raps. So it's literally the opposite notes as Andrew completely, which is funny because my two main notes were I like the placement of the song on the album and I love XC's rap.
I hate the placement of this song and I hate XC's rap. Holy shit.
Exactly. That's why when you were talking, I was like, this is funny.
Oh god. Next we have Cantabile, which is a cover of the anime. No. I'd say the instrumental of this song was very interesting. So it's this kind of like innocent sounding like electropop song with these like G-friend-esque strings, again like following up on memories, but then out of nowhere, there's just this like reverby as hell, like deep house, like synth that they use. I'm just like, at first I was confused. I was just like, why is this here? But then I didn't necessarily hate it. I just found it very interesting that they'd put it in this style of song. And I mean, I'd say this is probably the most experimental sounding song on the mini album. Like, there's a trap beat, like, break down, like, after the chorus. I'm just like, is this Wuju Sonyo at all? Like, there's just so many elements in this one song that are just very un-Wuju Sonyo. And I guess in that sort of way, I enjoyed it just because it's a nice change of pace in comparison to the previous songs that we got, were very much to their particular style. So.
Mm-hmm. Jacob said the synth instrumental in the song is awesome, especially the strings and bells. The strings in the chorus remind me a lot of something that G-Friend would probably come out with, which in this case is a positive. Cooper.
Yep, that's how I opened mine. I said I got major G-Friend vibes at the start. And then like Andrew said, the house beat and then the trap happened. And I was like super confused. I was like, it's like they've never done anything like remotely like this before. But like after a few listens, it's become like one of my like favorites, to quote Jacob. And I like the like ascending strings in the chorus. That like kind of like and XC again also in my notes. Great rap.
For me, I said I love the mysterious spacey feeling of this. It reminds me of like early Uju Sonyo or Singles or G-Friend. And then holy fuck, there's a trap beat breakdown and it's amazing, and I can't even care about the rest of the song. It's so good.
Yeah.
those are my notes.
It just kind of
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
It just kind of makes you want like an actual trap song from Uju Sonyo, because I mean, it's not like they haven't done it before. What was that? What was the name of that co-ed thingy?
Catch Me or Chase Me.
Yeah, where that was basically just. That was basically just like a hip hop song that they did with Monster, with Monster X, correct? So.
Oh no, you're talking about the song with Monster X.
Yeah. I forget the name.
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Please tell us in the comments. It's not necessarily something that's alien to them. So I think it'd be a cool sort of change of pace away from the Film Bloom style of songs. So. Next we have 12 o'clock. Do Better. Okay. That is the title of the collaboration song.
Yeah, Y-Teen.
Yeah, Y-Teen
was the
project. Yeah. When you showed that to me, I was just like, wow, this is Wuju Sonyo? What the hell? Anyway, on to 12 o'clock. Again, this is a song I really wanted to enjoy. It definitely is very experimental in a similar vein to how Cantabile just sort of messes around with different sounds. This also messes around with different sounds in a way, but I felt like that was to its detriment in this case, because I feel maybe it's just because they gave you a taste of like this 20s swing sound at the beginning, and then they just go away from it until like sort of a bridge area. I'm just like, why go away from it, and why not just? It would have been such a refreshing sound for them to just straight up do like a swing track in that sort of manner. So yeah, that's why I felt ultimately disappointed by the song, just because I feel had they stuck to the swing vibe that they had during the intro and that they have during that little interlude, it would have been one of my favorite songs on the entire album, just because again it would have been such a different take on Wuju Sonyo's style. So Yeah, again, I really wanted to like this one. I was like, I was literally in anguish when trying to listen to the song. I was just like, why didn't you just stick to it? Why didn't you just stick to the one sound? It would have worked so much better.
Yeah. Jacob said, this song gives off a similar vibe to me as Twice's Rollin' in the verses, but with a more swing cabaret style twist on it at times. The chorus is definitely in a style that's not unique to Uju Sonyo. The song definitely stands out to me a lot compared to other Uju Sonyo tracks. Also, XD just keeps slaying me with that rap.
Cooper.
Yeah, so I really liked the combination with the more funky chorus part and then the jazzy swing part. I thought they actually transitioned pretty well between those two. And I wrote down with the horns and the bass part of the song with Xe's rap. I was like, Ellie and Xe collab win.
Yeah.
Please make that happen.
I mean, they're very similar voices, so I'm surprised they haven't collabed, or they have very similar rapping styles. So
yeah, I don't know if I was the only one who heard this, but I heard elephant noises.
Yeah, I heard some random elephant noise. I'm just like, is this Zoo? Is this Zoo by Red Velvet right now?
I was like,
Zoo too.
Okay. I was like, okay, I guess there's the carnival theme.
Oh, okay.
That's like the only carnival theme in the entire mini album. Congratulations.
One elephant.
They just
sample.
put random elephant sounds in one song. Yeah.
And then the electric guitar solo in the outro. Amazing. And yep, that's my thought.
For me, back to agreeing with Andrew, as opposed to completely disagreeing with him. Although I still love the song. I thought that it was absolutely amazing, swing big band intro, and I agree with Andrew that I wish it continued into the chorus. But overall, I still like the song a lot. I really like how Xe's rap section extended to other members doing talk rapping for way longer than normal, way longer than I expected, and it's all with a great saxophone part. That section really stood out to me.
Yeah, the Barry sax part was that's one of the highlights of the song.
And then the bridge just being an instrumental big band part was amazing. And in my notes I said, oh my god, they put an electric guitar part at the end. My Dreamcatcher sense exploded.
And we close out Would You Stay with the song Ujong. So I don't really have much to say on this, honestly. Well, it's nice that that's a nice touch that they close it out with that. But as for the actual song, pretty much your run-of-the-mill sort of acoustic guitar girl group ballad track. So I'd say it didn't necessarily end on a high note for me, unfortunately. And for as much as I loved the first three songs and a bit of Cantabile, just the latter half of it just felt like, it really dropped the ball. So yeah, I don't know. I was just at this point, I was just kind of sad. It was just I just want one more song to sort of round out the album for me, but I didn't get it.
Cooper's bias dirty like that.
Sorry.
This is produced by Dollar.
This is a betrayal.
No.
I mean, granted, that being said, despite me not liking the song as an ending, I did like the chorus though, the da 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 da, that part of the chorus is very interesting.
Jacob says, this song doesn't really stand out to me as much, but unlike the other songs where I mentioned the rap, it's a little bit annoying in this one. Musically, the song didn't stand out as much, but I do think the vocals turned out well, even better than in Star.
Yeah, I'm kind of biased on this one because my two biases wrote and composed this song. So you can tell that for two best at English, there's a lot of random English lines in this that I really like, even though they're pretty corny. But yeah, there's, like Andrew said, there's not much to say about this. It's a nice quiet outro to the album. I'm just really happy that Dawan is getting more recognition for songwriting and singing in this album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mentioning the English, maybe I almost used "I'm a Cosmic Girl" as my English lyric for this episode.
Yeah,
almost. Yeah, for me, I liked it. It's like I said, it's acoustic ballad, composed by Dawan. And the one thing I didn't like, and Jacob mentioned it, is Xy's first rap part I did not like, because she was like modifying her voice to sound more sweet, and it just didn't come out very well. Like that's exactly what she's doing though. Like, and the second part sounded a lot more natural. Like just her first part, something's off with the way she's rapping, and she's just trying to match the song too much, I feel like, but it just didn't sound good. But her second rap was better. But overall, I like the use of synths in the background because they're there, but they're subtle and they're used sparsely. So they don't like overtake the song, but they definitely stood out to me.
All right.
And one last thing. Shout out to Luda. I think she ended the song really nicely.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that's all.
The English lyrics at the end.
All right, so now on to the ratings. So out of a 7, I gave the music a 5 out of 7. Again, as I love the first 3 tracks on this album. Again, as I mentioned before, La La Love, I'd say, was a good single track, but it didn't necessarily stand out to me as much as their prior, or I wouldn't put it above any of their previous singles, nor would I put it above something like Ung Ung, just in doing that sort of comparison. But it was still a good track for them to lead off with, and like, again, You Got It was probably one of my new favorites in terms of B-side tracks, and Star might be I can't really remember any other Would You Sonyo ballads, so it might be a favorite of mine. But yeah, again, I feel like with the rest, outside of Cantabile, I had various issues with it. So yeah, that's why I feel like it deserves a 5 out of 7. Concept 2 out of 3, and I guess that's kind of being generous, just because I really didn't understand the carnival aspect of it. But I guess where it really is saved is on the choreography. Just because I want them to push further into making a bit more complex and maybe a bit more just clean choreography that utilize, again, like what Cooper was mentioning, that utilizes the sheer manpower that they have in Wuju Sonyo. Like, you can do so many interesting lines and just variations that with that many members, even without C-line, you can still do that. So that would total out to a 7 out of 10.
Jacob gave it the exact same score as you. You said 5 out of 7 for music. My music score pretty much reflects the fact that I really like 5 out of 7 albums on the song. 5 out of 7 songs on the album, and really wasn't blown away by the other 2. I think what sells me short on Wuju Sonyo is that for me, their vocals don't convey enough emotion, and also that most of them have extremely similar sounding voices, so only a few stand out. That being said, the things I really did like, and think they are some of Wuju Sonyo's best B-sides. For concept, I only ended up going with 2 out of 3 for concept, because there was nothing really super remarkable concept-wise. Like with the MV, for example, there's nothing to really stand it apart from, say, Twice As Yes or Yes, which all went with the same carnival-type concept. The choreography for the song did turn out really nicely, though, and I think Wuju Sonyo's choreo is one of their biggest strengths, especially with the amount of members they have. Everything on the album concept-wise was at least well done. It just didn't stand out to me as much, was the main problem. Overall, Wuju Sonyo almost always has some tracks on their albums that I really like, but they really don't reinvent the wheel when it comes to their albums overall. He said overall twice. Or no. He didn't. I'm just crazy. I really want to like what they give me more than I do, but they haven't done anything that really grabs my attention and puts me in my place. Like I mentioned before, I think it's mostly due to the vocals all being so high-pitched and similar sounding. For this album, what stood out to me was the instrumentals mostly, and that's what scored most of the points musically. On a lot of albums from other artists, I can't help but comment on how much I love the vocals, but Wuju Sonyo always leaves something to be desired there for me. No doubt the talent is there. I think it all is chalked down to member composition, how Starship constructed the group. Overall, this was a solid release that I think deserves praise, but has something lacking for me in the end.
Cooper.
Okay, for music, I gave it a 6 out of 7. Only Star and Ujang weren't as high for me as everyone's. But I really love all the other B-sides and the title track. So it still gets a 6. 2 out of 3 for concepts, because I agree about the music video. Because when like the teaser photos, like all of them like didn't match really at all with how the music video turned out, so I wasn't really sure what they were going for in that aspect. But I think we all agree that the choreo is really, really amazing. So I still gave it a 2 out of 3. 8 total.
For me, I gave it a 6.5 out of 7 for music. I really liked all the songs. It just a couple could have been a little bit better. There are a couple of things that I didn't like, so I knocked them half a point. But I was close to giving them a 7 out of 7 for music. I really liked the music on this album. For concept, though, I agree with everyone. I think it's 2 out of 3 because the music video just didn't have anything special, but the choreo was fantastic and the styling's fantastic. So I gave it an 8.5. So we total a 7.625. So 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 would be. And,
yep.
And again, that's not necessarily a bad score. It's just, again, we expect, or again, it's one of those cases where I feel like, it's how much we love title track versus how much we love like album tracks, which ends up sort of skewing that balance. So it's just, it obviously just doesn't it doesn't necessarily like live up to what they've put out before. But I'm still excited to see what they have for 2019, in all honesty. Granted, Sea Lion's probably gone, so I mean, I'll have to find a new bias. So
prediction number 3.
Yep, there's that.
No.
So it gets a seal of approval, but no shiny.
Yeah. It's a good album. 7.5.
Yeah, it's still a good album.
Good, not truly Daebak.
Yeah.
Or great, not truly Daebak.
Yeah, it's
I think
great.
Good is 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want a hard break? What are we doing?
Oh,
you have 15 minutes.
Oh no, I have till like 1:30. 1:30.
Oh, you have 1:30? Okay, then we're good. Okay. Topic 3 is going to be Kai and Jennie dating. Kai from EXO and Jennie from Blackpink are dating, and that's a news story that Andrew is gonna talk about.
So basically, I just want to break down. I'll just break it down for people that haven't heard,
news.
but I have no idea who hasn't friggin' heard this news story, in all honesty. But and then I guess go into our thoughts. So, as the title entails, we have confirmation that EXO's Kai and Blackpink's Jennie are indeed dating. So I just remember it being such a whirlwind on New Year's Eve when the rumors first broke. Like, our Discord just went ape shit just because we were just like, what? Like, it was just like the most insane news story. And at first there was no confirmation from either SM Entertainment or YG Entertainment on the news, but it was finally SM who said yes. They confirmed that Kai and Jennie were indeed dating and that they love each other very much or something like that. I don't remember. I remember laughing at the wording that they used. It was very interesting. So yeah, it was, once it was officially confirmed, I guess that's when sort of the internet hit peak like hysteria over this story. I feel like YG took a lot longer to confirm or deny the story, just because relatively speaking, Blackpink is new. I mean, Blackpink was what, like 2016?
Yeah, 2016, I think.
2016 when they started. So they've been around for like what, like a little under 3 years, maybe like 2.5, like not even 2.5 years in all honesty. So yeah, they're relatively new, and most labels have dating bans. So I'm sure there's probably they had some explaining to do, or they had to talk to Jennie, or just sort of maybe get the full story before they ever confirmed the story. This isn't the first idol that Kai has been publicly linked with. He previously dated Crystal before she got sent to the Shadow Realm by SM Entertainment. And apparently, okay, so this is the interesting part for me. They had hints of their relationship, just very secret. Again, I feel it in a way, just because if you're in a relationship and you can't tell anyone, you just still want to put those like tiny little hints and just on Instagram or social media or whatever. So the like an internet detectives or Twitter detectives discovered that on both Kai and Jennie's Instagrams, they posted pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower like roughly around the same time, and nobody ever made the connection between that until now. So that was just a very interesting sort of wrinkle in this story. And this story was actually first broken by Dispatch in Korea, and that's never a good thing because, yeah, the reality of it is basically Dispatch broke the story because they had like photographic evidence, and they had like this whole map of like places where Kai and Jennie were seen together. So like they had like this whole sort of like, I don't know, diorama of like confirming that or of evidence that they were dating each other. And there were, this is like straight up rumors. I don't know if there's any confirmation for it necessarily, but there were rumors going around saying that, oh, they had more news to break and that they were like holding entertainment companies like hostage for shush money. Like they had
Really?
more relationship news to break, but they like, I mean, that kind of is how a lot of tabloids work, in all honesty, where like they say, I have this big story, you have to pay me a lump sum of money so that I don't leak this to the press. But which in itself isn't necessarily bad. It's just the way Dispatch goes about things is kind of like just really scummy in that sort of way. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I just wanted general thoughts on the relationship, or just like how the story or news broke, or Dispatch, or so. Nate, we can start with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. It's hard for me because like this side of K-pop, I really don't care about at all. Like the like paparazzi tabloid like drama BS type stuff. But it's part of the industry, so like obviously we're gonna talk about it occasionally. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just like let them do what the hell they want. They're adults. Like they can date. Like they're not objects. They're not things that other people should control completely. So if they're dating, that's good for them. I think overall, I think it's a good thing. I think it doesn't seem like the fan reaction to this has been too crazy.
Yeah, which is surprising.
It's definitely, in the past, there's definitely been a lot of problems with that. I remember, I think in Discord or something, or maybe our chat, we talked about with Taeyeon
and Baekhyun.
And Baekhyun. Yeah, just that like completely going crazy when that came out that they were dating. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal overall. So that's good. And yeah, I just think it's like I never understood the idea of like obsessing over their personal lives. Which we don't do really, but it's obviously comes with the age of the fandom.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what happens. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think I hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass that it came out. But yeah, I think overall that they should be able to date. They should be fine. Like they're human beings. That's what happens.
And I mean, if they didn't break the news, like everyone knows that they're dating anyway, or like idols are dating anyway. So it's not a complete shock.
Yeah, if you're living in denial that these people are waiting and not in love or not dating people because they want to be with you, the fan, then you're ridiculous. Like that's not how this works. They're human beings. That's
some pipe dream shit right there.
Yeah.
Cooper, Kai is your bias, right? In EXO, correct?
He is one of my biases.
Okay, so your thoughts. What about Blackpink? Who's your bias?
My bias is Jisoo.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
I'm not French. You have no investment as much, but thoughts.
So yeah, like my first reaction was like, "Whoa, this is insane," but after like a day, I'm like, "Cool." And I think it's because of how crazy the Hyuna Edan debacle was like early in 2018 that lasted months, it seemed like. And then like you were saying, the reaction to this has basically been at least 90% from what I've seen positive, or like whatever, do what you want. Which is really good to see, considering I wasn't around for like the earlier ones, of course, like you were mentioning, but yeah, I think maybe it could be because the older ones were in SM, like Baekhyun, Taeyeon, Kai, and
I don't think I've. Yeah.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
I don't think there's ever been an SMYG confirmed relationship ever before. That's like this is straight up some like Romeo and Juliet type stuff with how like at opposite ends both companies are, in all honesty.
Yeah. I think the reason the reaction has been so muted, well, I think one, like Hyuna Edon was ridiculous because of the whole, it was them versus Cube, their own entertainment company, and they had to leave, and like Cube was denying it, and they were like, no, shut up, Cube, you're wrong. Like, where this was like both SM and YG, SM was like, yeah, this is happening, and YG a few days later was like, we agree with what SM said, or whatever. They didn't even make a real comment. They just said they're the same as SM or whatever. But I think this compared to Taeyeon, the big thing is EXO that was like 2014, I think.
Yeah, some 2014.
And like EXO was a lot newer and their fans were a lot younger. Where now I feel like EXO's fans overall are older because they've been around for a while. Mm-hmm. Like the younger K-pop fans, I feel like aren't as invested in EXO. So, and it sucks to say, but usually girl group fans don't care about dating scandals nearly as much as guy group fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, like Blackpink fans don't really care that Jennie's dating someone. But yeah, I think because EXO, it's like I said, it's 4 years later. I think the fandom's just older and more mature and can understand this type of thing more than they could back in 2014. So I think that's why it hasn't really been a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As for my thoughts, as Cooper mentioned, I feel like Hyuna and Edon sort of opened the floodgates in a way for this thing to maybe not be as controversial. Just because, Hyuna and Edon basically just like took all the fire out of dating scandals or dating rumors, just because I think nothing's ever going to top that. Essentially, again, I do find it interesting that it's SM and YG, like who are polar opposites, and usually it's like YG and YG dating, like, oh, Daragon, it was like a thing for the longest time, or obviously between Taeyeon and Baekhyun, or Kai and Crystal, that sort of thing, where it's the first time I've seen like a high profile relationship between two artists from the big three. So I mean, you could fact check me on whether or not this has been something like this has officially happened before, but to my knowledge, it never has, at least in the modern era of K-pop. So it's a very interesting story, definitely, and it's something that's not surprising because one, Kai obviously has dated before, so it's not surprising that he'd date again, and two, Jennie grew up in New Zealand, so it's not like she feels too much, or she feels the pressure of, oh my god, I'm an idol, I can't date. Like, I feel like that's the nice thing about introducing or having people that grew up abroad, that they don't necessarily feel pressured or confined to Korea's standards when it comes to being an idol in that sort of way. And I feel like I'd say that's one of the good things about Blackpink, is that they break the mold in that sort of way by having a lot of people who aren't so entrenched in Korean culture that that they fall down. And it's not surprising that Jennie's like what, she's in her 20s already. It's like how would you, exactly. if you're in your 20s and you're not dating, there's something wrong. So me included. It's just a normal fact of life at that age. So I guess that's sort of why it's not as controversial in that sort of way. I do kind of feel maybe a bit scared, just because I feel like XOLs are still kind of crazy. I say this as an XOL myself, so I am a bit scared of Jennie maybe getting backlash about this whole dating thing. But I feel like overall, maybe the biggest contributor as to why people just like don't give a shit or just aren't like flipping out over this is, I feel like both EXO and Blackpink have overwhelmingly like enormous international fandoms, as opposed to groups where the majority of their fan base lies within Korea. Because if it was that was the case, I feel like there would be more of an outrage over it, where sort of like what happened with Edon from Pentagon. Because I feel like Pentagon is a more popular group in Korea than they are internationally. I mean, I don't really have much to say on like evidence about that, but it definitely seems like they, or until recently maybe with the release of Shine, they definitely fell more on the radar in Korea. But like people were canceling like fan meets and that sort of thing, because I feel like, again, the larger the Korean fan base is, or the larger the Korean fan base makes up the entire fan base, I feel like that's when you're going to get more of those ridiculous situations. Whereas, again, now EXA fans are mostly older, Blackpink fans are kind of younger, but again, most of them come from here in America or from other parts of the world other than Korea. So the concept of a dating scandal isn't as offensive to them, which is nice. And I hope this situation sort of sets an example of how, or of like maybe just try and normalize this more than it is now. And I don't think we'll ever get full normalization, because I feel like there will always be hardcore fans that are like, no, you're never allowed to date anyone except for me. And that's just the fact of like idol culture, or just pop culture just in general, where people like literally worship idols. So yeah, I think they make a cute ass couple, like just in general. Like I think they make a really good couple, and I'm surprised. I'm not shocked that they're dating each other. I hope that they're allowed to interact with each other like at public events or whatever, because I feel like they might SM and YG might go like the complete opposite ways. Like you're not allowed to touch each other, you're not allowed to look eyes at each other.
Yeah, I'd be surprised, or like I could definitely see that they're like, hey, we're gonna let you date, but like keep it private, and like
keep it out of the,
don't show it at public events and stuff.
Oh yeah. And maybe for that's the thing. That's probably best for their business, because they don't want to piss off the fans that are like, oh my god, I want to be with Jennie and that sort of thing. Like if they see that like at a concert, I feel like it would set them off to a bit too much. So that's my hope. But and just one final word on Dispatch. I feel like, I mean, I've had my problems with Dispatch before, with like what they did with friggin' Winner, and like it was like a pedophilia scandal or something like that, or
they're
some stupid link, or
it's weird. They've really weird rules in terms of
what qualifies,
like putting stuff out and quality and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, my gripes are long withstanding when it comes to Dispatch. So yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with breaking dating news if it sort of comes into your attention, just because it is an interesting story. It's just the way they went about it was incredibly wrong. Like violating their privacy in this sort of way is just really rude. And I know it's a business, obviously. They're making a lot of money off of this, but I think there's a way to sort of address these idol dating topics. Ideally, in an ideal world, it'd be the companies themselves announcing it first. It wouldn't be leaked by publications such as Dispatch. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, I mean, there's definitely a way you could do it. Like you could say like, oh, unnamed source or unnamed source says such and such and such. I mean, and it'll be up to the companies themselves to confirm or deny it. But I feel like stalking them and getting photos of them and just like making like a diagrams of like where they were together and that sort of thing is just it's way too far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that wraps up the thoughts. I mean, unless you guys have anything else to say, just as a general.
Cooper, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, screw Dispatch just in general.
Yeah, fuck Dispatch. You can curse on the show, Cooper.
just their photographers are pretty good though, so just close down.
It's weird because Dispatch has like good photo shoots, but then they do this weird tabloidy shit.
Yeah, which it really undermines their name. So Nate, any closing thoughts?
Yeah,
or Cooper, you can continue.
Finish up.
I just think it's weird that it seems like Dispatch and these companies would hate each other, yet they have all these partnerships with hundreds of companies still, even though like they leak stuff like that hurts your groups and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like two different sides of this two completely different sides of this company.
Yeah,
like one that's completely legitimate that does all these like professional photo shoots that are like official and stuff, and then this other side that's like just paparazzis and tabloid that's running around stalking idols.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is don't stalk idols. but I'm sure people
and
still
let them date in peace.
let them date, let them eat date. I don't know. I was gonna make a let them eat cake joke, but it didn't work.
Eat dates. The dates are food.
Oh yeah, dates are a food, but I've never had dates before.
Too late
honestly.
for that one.
I've never tried dates before.
That's because they're like old people food, I think.
yeah, they are old
Isn't
people.
it like
food.
they're known like 80-year-old people eat dates? I don't know.
Yeah, is it
I've
some
never
type of
had
like
them.
it's some type of like nut peanut?
I apologize if
chestnut?
I offended you if you eat dates.
Yeah,
and
if
you're
you eat
not
dates,
80 years old.
if you eat dates, please let us know in the comments.
Comment 69 in the comments. Okay, let's go to topic 4, which is going to be Cooper's K-pop history. So basically, we just wanted to have Cooper talk a little bit about how he got into K-pop, what his groups that he likes are, because we never really got a true introduction to him on the podcast, which we all did this episode 1, basically, or one of the first episodes. So yeah, go ahead, Cooper.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back all the way to 2010.
Before you were in K-pop.
What?
It's a roller coaster. So this was in my sophomore year in high school, in my computer like programming class, and one of my friends showed me G by SNSD, and my
How it
first
starts
reaction.
for everyone.
Yep, but it took a while because I was not into it at all. So I was basically like, "What is this? Why isn't it? It's not even in English." Which is now like a comment I hate. So, but I was young back then, so
Yeah, you were in high school. You didn't know any better.
I basically didn't think two things about it, which is crazy. And it wasn't until 2012 with Psy and Gangnam Style that I was reintroduced to K-pop again, which I didn't really even associate it with K-pop because it was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Getting like billions of views. So I was like, this is cool, I guess.
See, it's funny because I completely associate that song with K-pop because I was in Korea when it happened, and I saw him perform it live at a concert with like over 100,000 people or whatever. It was ridiculous.
Oh my god. Yeah, so it kind of ignored that and then skipped to 2014. I saw Lady Gaga on my birthday in Dallas.
And for those that don't know, like Cooper is arguably the biggest fan of Lady Gaga in like the universe. So
yeah, for his non-K-pop history, he's really into female pop and like indie artists.
Yeah. So, and she had Crayon Pop as an opener.
I remember that.
Which, in hindsight, makes sense that she would have K-pop because a lot of her outfits from that era were like super Eastern Asian inspired, like super colorful, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then again, for like the third time, I was like, "This is nice. I guess other people enjoy this." But I was like, I still wasn't interested in like. Going after looking into it basically. So 2015, this is just something I found out like last night. I was
you totally it's just like
he ruined his entire life.
You filed it away in a part of your brain and you just only remembered it now.
I was on break at work just like searching my last FM account. I was like, I'll go back to the beginning. It was like, I think, October 2015, I apparently found FX Four Walls on new releases, listened to the whole album, and never touched any K-pop until BTS.
Fake FX fan.
It was just like out of
Cooper's
nowhere.
a fake FX fan. He hates Four Walls.
Hey, that was my 11 in the song rating.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is even weirder because like I never went back to it. And then like my true like history with K-pop I guess starts October 2016 when I found Blood, Sweat and Tears by BTS on YouTube. and that just began like a 4-month black hole of BTS content. Just thousands of videos, like everything I could watch. I like.
Yeah, when we found Cooper, he only knew BTS basically.
Yeah, I would just like send like spam BTS content in our Facebook chat, which I'm sure like we've seen all of this.
No, I mean I didn't because I don't really watch much like variety content
Yeah.
or whatever. So like a lot of it was definitely new to me because I didn't really go looking for that.
I was definitely a solo stan until like March of 2017. That's when like I started clicking on all the stuff you guys sent.
What were you doing
was
before
like-
that then, huh?
Just waiting
Kind
for
of
us to talk
ignoring.
about BTS and ignoring it all.
Yeah, it was literally a BTS hole. And then I started getting into like Red Velvet was kind of my second one. But yeah, after that it was basically like overtook all of my other media consumption up until this point still.
Welcome to
Yeah.
the rest of your life.
Yeah, welcome to the
Pretty
rest of your
much.
life. You're gonna do this. You're gonna listen to K-pop for when you're 35 years old.
Good times. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch 200 movies this year. I watched like 95.
Hey,
It's
that's
like-
way more than I did.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's basically catches me up to now. I've just, except BTS is kind of like fallen. They aren't really
I
my.
was gonna say, yeah. So, what groups are your main
Yeah.
go-tos now?
I'd say that's the most interesting thing though, is that you're not as big of a BTS fan as you were back in the day. So before
Yeah,
Army kills you, but
I mean, yeah, it's literally because of Army that I'm not a BTS.
oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's my favorites have kind of fluctuated a lot, especially the last 12 months or so. So like right now my top 2 girl groups are like Red Velvet and Uju Sonya. And board groups are NCT is my ultimate bias group, and the boys are like my number 2.
Wow, he doesn't even mention Stray Kids
Kids,
anymore.
oh no.
Those are just my top 2. I follow like dozens.
Oh yeah,
Those are
he's
the
like
groups
us.
still.
He follows all the groups now.
Yeah, Stray Kids. Shout out to Stray Kids though. We're like number 4 or something. I don't know.
4.
But yeah, but yeah, 4.
Wow,
Monsta X 3.
But I'd say 17's probably number 3.
17's 3.
okay.
Wow, it's surprising. You don't actually. I feel like you don't actually talk about 17. That
Yeah,
much.
you don't talk about
I
17.
didn't realize they
all
were
that
so
much.
high on your list.
Yeah, I mostly just 17's music.
Yeah,
I
you
like.
just listen to music a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much catches me up to now. And then like this Discord has like reinvigorated like my enthusiasm even more with just like spending my whole day in there, just different channels and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Definitely-
secretly an ad for Discord. This whole time.
Pretty-
It's like, hey, come hang out in Discord.
And
Join-
maybe kind of
join it.
secretly an ad for Last FM because I had no idea what to put up on the screen
Yeah,
for
that's
this. So,
Scrabbles.
so I'm just looking up how many. NCT has 2.1 million Scrabbles. Holy crap! Wait,
a
let me
lot
go.
of Scrabbles.
Let me go back to BTS. Let's see how many Scrabbles they have.
Probably in
Oh,
like
God.
hundreds of millions.
Wuju Sonyo has 1.3 million Scrabbles. Red Velvet has what? No, wait, no. I picked the wrong Red Velvet because it only has 11,000 Scrabbles. So I don't think that's correct. Red Velvet has 13.6 million Scrabbles. BTS was the one I searched before that, I believe. And they had 68.9 million Scrabbles. So they're just like 0.1 away from 69 million Scrabbles. So
nice.
that's a lot of people
Nice.
scrabbling BTS. So, but it's been, we mentioned it a lot in the show before, but it's just so interesting to see your growth as a K-pop fan, just going from like only BTS to barely BTS, and like now you're into way more groups than we are to some degree, in all honesty.
But
So-
yeah, well, that's actually like a nice thing if you've listened to us for a long time, is like Cooper adds a level of knowledge about guy groups, especially new guy groups, that we don't really have.
Yeah.
Because he follows them a lot more than we do. Obviously, like Gen 2 stuff, Jacob and I know a lot, and Andrew knows a lot. But yeah, coming into like newer guy groups.
Yeah, because I mean,
not as many that we know.
Yeah, like Cooper was the one to like the first put us onto like ATs or like JBJ and like all these other like
boys,
like very
been championing.
Yeah, very new like boy groups. That's Cooper's forte definitely. So that's why I'm excited for you to come on so that you can sort of divulge all that information to. There's probably more stands of those new boy groups than there are of like the popular girl groups, in all honesty. So this would actually be better for our views if we talk more about those things. So any closing statements, Cooper? Just in general, and just joining Truly Daebak, I guess. Since this is your debut.
It is. It's still surreal because I'm like so used to just like clicking on the links and just listening to y'all talk, and then like, oh wait, I'm on those videos now.
Yep.
Are you still gonna watch it even though like you're not you're on the show now, or?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna watch my episodes, but
I was gonna say you'll listen to episodes you're not on.
I stopped watching our show like a long time ago.
No, you actually watch. I've never watched an episode.
I used to watch.
Why
it.
would you watch something that you were on? Like I
don't
remember it. I
know.
was there. Why would you listen to it?
I don't know, but so yeah, I'm just we're all really happy that we're finally able to bring Cooper on. Definitely just give him all the congratulations on all various social medias, but most particularly tweet at him at Irene's Waterboy, which is the greatest
At Irene's Waterboy,
the greatest Twitter handle in the history of Twitter handles, easily. So I think Jacob came up with Irene's Waterboy or something like that.
yeah,
Okay,
that was his creation.
Yeah, so
But
shout
it was
out
so
to
good.
Jacob.
It was so good.
shout outs to Jacob in that case. So
Okay, everyone good? All of your thoughts out, Cooper? Anything else you want to say?
Join Discord. We're almost at 60 people. It'd be nice if we could get 100 by the end of this year.
it'd be nice if we could get to 69 people.
69.
How'd you miss that? How'd you
Nice.
miss that number?
Yep. That's okay. I mean, 100's a good goal. I
Yeah.
think it would still be manageable. I'm worried that when it gets too big, like
It'll
I'm
just be
worried for that
spam.
day.
Yeah.
But we're not
Yeah.
near it, I don't think.
I'm just waiting for like a random like twice auntie to join.
I was gonna say we haven't gotten any trolls yet, which is nice. And then apparently bots are a real problem, so it's surprising because people are saying that like if you have a public link to join your Discord, usually you have to deal with a bunch of bots, and we haven't. But I think it's just because it's only in our YouTube like description, so like bots aren't trolling YouTube descriptions for Discord links.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so-
I'd personally like to know what the bots' tastes are in K-pop. I mean, like, do they like Twice? Do they like BTS? I mean, I'd be
they're
interested.
just gonna send you ads for Ray-Bans
Oh,
and
okay.
pornography links. I don't think they're gonna care.
Oh. I guess
Okay.
we can wrap it up.
Yep. Let's wrap it up. Is there any last things for this episode? Anything coming up?
TDAs are obviously coming up. Truly
Yeah,
Daebak
true.
Awards. I'm gonna try and finish everything by the time this is out. By the time this video's out or this part's out, you should know who the nominees are. So TDAs will run from the 21st to the 25th. We will be premiering the videos. I don't know exactly what time yet. However YouTube premieres works, it's a pre-recorded video, but you can sort of premiere it at a certain time live, like how live streams work. So we're gonna plan on doing that. We'll do that for the main Truly Daebak Awards, and then on the 26th is the current plan. We will do a live stream for the 2019 Truly Daebak Fans Choice Awards. So if you don't like any of our choices, if you think we're garbage for picking, I don't know, like Shiny as the artist of the year, you can make your choice. You can actually we'll have a fan voting only, like none of us will participate, like Google form, and sort of we'll compile all the data together, and we'll see who the fans choose for the best of 2018. So that should be really interesting. And just again to mention Discord, we're going to plan on running a guessing game when it comes to the winners. So there'll be 2 chances to win. You'll either have a chance to win if you guess all of it correct for the main Truly Daebak Awards, you'll win a prize. If you guess all of it correct for the the fans' choice, then you'll win a prize. But it's only open to members of our Discord. So again, just please join our Discord if you want to be, if you want a chance to win, or if you want to just check out and talk to some really cool K-pop fans that are also fans of Truly Daebak. So, yep, that's all I've got on the docket for now.
Yeah, I think that's it for us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was episode 104. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Stay scrobbling.
Stay throbbingly scrobbling.
Stream ung.
Yes, streaming.
Well, Boa is huge in Japan, so
Yeah.
it makes sense for this to be a Japanese single for sure.
Only Boa could make me like a Tropical House song. Like, this is probably like one of my favorite Tropical House songs I've heard all year, which isn't
Yeah,
saying
me too,
much.
actually.
Which isn't saying much because I really don't like all too many, but like it's excellent. The choreography is amazing.